Alright, hello to those of you watching. I'm Vincent, and I wanted to make a quick video showcasing the second map for my capstone game, the Draft, and the map is called Bamboo Forest. And the first version shown here is the one that I grayboxed. I also did a bit of set dressing with an acid pack to help give the artist an idea for the visual direction that we wanted to take. Firstly, I wanted to show the origins of this map. The idea for Bamboo Forest was first conceived on a whiteboard as a drawing by one of the designers who then passed it on to me to start grayboxing. And I just really like showing images like this because I think it's awesome to see the ideas in their infancy and then to see them in game. So the squiggly lines you see on the edges here and the center represent the varying levels of height and depth. So up here are the upper levels of the map, and then this larger portion are the lower parts of the map. And the main focus for the Bamboo Forest, put simply, is to be a more interesting map than the first map we have, which is the Nordic Fjords. With the Nordic Fjords, there was really only one path that was optimal for the players to take. And when we were playtesting, as soon as the players found out that path, they totally ignored the rest of the map and just went with that. So this map is the Nordic Fjords, the first map that we have for the draft. And I just wanted to point out the imbalance in the pathing that we discovered through playtesting. So from this angle, this right here is where the player units spawn, and this right here, this green zone here, is where they need to get to. That's how they score the most points. So basically what the players would do during playtesting is as soon as they spawn from here, they would just take this path straight to the goal, and they would never bother to go around the map for this path, and very, very few players actually went up to here. They really only went up there just out of curiosity to see what was there. So you can see the imbalance for this, and the main focus for Bamboo Forest was to rectify the issues that we had in Nordic Fjords. So this is the version of the map where I left off for the gray boxing. Since then, it's been in the hands of the art team who are now making it pretty, and I'll show that map shortly. But I just wanted to show and go over the gray box map that we have. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the flow control pathing that I designed. Put simply, the higher you are, the safer, and the lower you are, the more dangerous it is. So this right here, this is your goal, and over here, this is the enemy goal. And hopefully you can see that the fastest path from the spawn point to the enemy goal is the lower part of the map. Now the reason it's more dangerous to take this route is because you are almost 100% guaranteed to run into an enemy unit, and the chances of you meeting up with that enemy unit on the bridge are significantly higher because of the way we set up the AI. To guard this path right here, there's only one path that they can take. The enemy unit will be right by the bridge or somewhere around the middle. So it's almost a 100% guarantee that they'll be there. And when the player does fight that unit, if it's on the bridge, which is more than likely to happen, if you lose, the chances of your unit going into the water here are significantly higher, and the water acts as a penalty zone for our map. And these right here are penalty zones scattered amongst the level, and whenever a unit collides with it, they are sent to a timeout box, and they are out for about a minute, and it's basically a power play for the opposing team. So when we look at the higher parts of the map, you can see that there are far more paths that the player can take to get to the goal, but taken with the caveat that it is significantly longer to get from here to here via this pathing. But it's a lot safer. So you have a higher chance of kind of like bobbing and weaving past enemy units, kind of crossing them over and getting past them, but you'll still probably end up fighting a unit who is guarding just this area right here. And the main thing I focused on to balance the pass in terms of scale and placement was the amount of time it would take a unit to get from the spawn zone to the enemy goal. So for example, It took about 8 to 9 seconds for the unit to get from one goal to the other via the lowest path. And if it takes them that long, then the length of the bridge needs to be altered because the longer they're on the bridge, the chances of them ending up in the water increases. And that's just a really simple rule of thumb that I use to help me design and balance the pathing. Uh, as far as the other design focus I mentioned, aesthetic, that's more so on the art side. But I still worked with some of the artists on what kind of set pieces that we wanted to have for the map, and also help determine the placement of those set pieces. So I'll go ahead and show that version of the map right now. So this is the current state of the bamboo forest. As you can see, they replace a lot of the terrain with just actual mountain meshes, and it's starting to take shape. Some of the bridges aren't done yet in terms of the actual UVing of them, so that's why you just see them as like this blaring red. But you can see that the aesthetic of the map is significantly nicer. And I just wanted to show a quick version of the current state for bamboo forest.